What's up, everybody? Here with a quick update on today's episode of General Hospital. I've been trying to do it in the mornings the day after when I could watch it on Hulu, but since I have more to do tomorrow morning, I'm gonna cover today's episode tonight, even though it's late, so bear with me. Today's episode was solid enough. We had enough of good follow ups on the main story today. We also got some veteran action, which I did enjoy. Rick and Liz were at the hospital with Rick asking her for updates on Cullum. Liz is thinking this is because Jason is accused of shooting Cullum, and Rick has a history of hating Jason, so Liz didn't want to get involved with this at first. But Rick is on his crusade to be close to Sonny, and of course trying to redevelop this relationship with Liz. And Rick said that if Jason is important to Liz and Sonny, then he is also important to Rick, so he's going to do everything to get Jason home safe, and that starts with Cullum. Liz told Rick that Cullum is going to recover, which was the information that Rick needed to know. Meanwhile, Laura was visiting Sonny. Sorry about what's going on with Jason, because obviously Sonny and Jason, quite the duo. Laura was telling Sonny that she has gotten advice from Ezra to publicly rebuke Jason as mayor and distance herself from Jason, which also kind of means distancing herself from Sonny, which is what Sonny wanted to know about. I think Sonny kind of liked that idea because maybe it would take some heat off of them where Sidwell is concerned. Sonny also is developing this plan to make sure Laura and Rick are also trusting each other, because those are the two main people that Sonny is working with. So when Rick came over, Laura let Rick know that Sidwell does have information on her too. This blackmail, the photos with the dead professor that Laura was with when he was in Laura's trunk, that Sidwell set up, took photos of Laura and Sonny with the body. They also let Rick know that Nathan is kind of a witness to that because he stopped, well, not so Nathan is kind of a witness to that because he stopped when Laura had a flat tire. I like that Rick is learning all this information. I just have always liked the character of Rick, so I am looking forward to Rick and Sonny working together on this. I feel like Sonny has been quite on the outskirts of this main story, even though Sidwell thinks Sonny is the one responsible for Marco's death. Sonny feels like he is more on the outs than he usually would be in a story like this, so I'm kind of looking forward to them maybe building this whole Sonny and Rick thing working together. Laura also kind of involved now, but Rick told Laura that she should go ahead with the press conference where she must say that she doesn't support Jason and therefore looks like she doesn't support Sonny anymore either. Meanwhile, Dante showed up in Cullum's hospital room, questioning Cullum about who shot him. I'm not exactly sure how Cullum knew to say that Jason shot him, because Cullum has been fighting for his life these past several episodes. Now he's conscious again, and somehow he is blaming Jason for this and knows that Jason is in custody. I can't remember if in yesterday's episode or whenever it was when Lucas was talking to Cullum, if he told Cullum. That would be the only way that Cullum would know that information. But Cullum was telling Dante that it was Jason. Dante questioned Cullum why Cullum issued a arrest warrant for Jason before the shooting even happened. Cullum's excuse was that Jason is a criminal, and that's why. Cullum was pushing back on Dante's questioning because he doesn't think that this whole ordeal is up to the PCPD, it's up to the WSB. Cullum was saying that the WSB doesn't owe Dante anything, but Dante made it known to Cullum that he doesn't know when to quit. he asked Cullum how Cullum knew that Britt and Jason were going to be on the pier, and Cullum had an excuse that he had a hunch. Dante said he likes to take hunches too. And when Dante ended up chatting with Liz later in the episode, he let Liz know that he thinks Cullum is hiding something. It was good to see Dante actually doing some good detective work for once. I feel like in recent months they have definitely been making Dante seem not so good at his job. But in today's episode, I liked his scenes with Cullum. I mean, yeah, he's going to continue to be pushing Cullum, hopefully. Obviously, them bringing Dante and Liz together in the end of this episode, they're still teasing that too. I'm definitely Team Rick and Liz. You know, they're two vets. They have a history. I think they do still have chemistry, and I don't think Dante and Liz have chemistry. But this show seems to have a reputation for putting these couples together that don't have that connection, that chemistry. So I can definitely see them doing that with Liz and Dante here. Somebody in the comments this morning for the episode I did this morning said that at one point Trina and Gio were the couple with chemistry, but they didn't go that direction. So, and they probably should have. Even though I don't mind Gio and Emma, I'm not exactly like feeling that either. It was Diary of a Sing that said that in the comments today. Anyway, Nathan also, well, not so Nathan, visited Cullum and said he is here to talk about Sidwell. Nathan is going to be the go-between between Cullum and Sidwell now. And Nathan did seem to question Cullum if he had something to do with Marco's death, because he told Cullum that Sidwell's not doing so good right now. Cullum, of course, denied that, saying that it was obviously Sonny. Cullum also told Not So Nathan that Jason was not the one that shot him because he was looking right at Jason, so someone else pulled the trigger. Obviously, Not So Nathan knows it was Rocco who did that. I am wondering if this is us supposed to see that Not So Nathan has a conscience with the whole Rocco situation, or if Not So Nathan and Cullum are about to really kind of try and have Lulu and Rocco under their thumb. That is another possibility. Could also keep Dante at bay, I suppose. Earlier in the episode, Not So Nathan was comforting Lulu about her motherly instinct to continue to baby Rocco and take care of Rocco. Lulu was telling Nathan, or Not So Nathan, that he is thinking like a cop and she is thinking like a mother because she is worried about her son. Obviously, later in the episode, she was babying Rocco about his cut and how he needed to change his bandages. Rocco started the episode with Gio feeling bad for Danny because Danny loses his father again. Of course, Gio doesn't realize what's underneath all of these feelings from Rocco where Danny is concerned. He feels guilty that he's the one that pulled the trigger and Jason is covering for him. Emma met with Felicia today. Emma wants them to bring her grandma Anna home. Felicia didn't really seem to be concerned about that, which I found odd. I feel like Felicia is being very passive about the whole Anna situation. That didn't even get a lot of airtime today, but I was definitely irked by Felicia not being aggressive when Emma is saying that they need to bring Anna home. You would think that Felicia wouldn't be as trusting as she seems to be with that whole situation. The Sidwell and Lucas scenes in today's episode, continuing from yesterday, were unfortunately what I was expecting. Sidwell talking about how he does want Marco's killer to be brought to justice. Lucas knowing that that killer is Cullum. I still think that these heroes should want to tell Sidwell, or at least make it known to Sidwell, that Cullum is the one that killed Marco, because then you have Cullum and Sidwell clashing against each other. There has to be a way for the heroes to be able to give Sidwell that information without it falling back on Lucas. So that's a frustrating plot point in my opinion. Sidwell wants Lucas to continue to stay at Windermere because it's his home. That's where he lived with Marco. Wants Lucas to stay for Marco's sake because that's where he was close to Marco. And Lucas seems to be staying for now, which upset the drunk Pascal, who is also grieving Marco and is upset with Lucas. Thinks that Lucas used Marco, said that Lucas is the one that should be dead. I guess that was used to make Lucas feel even more bad than he already does. I do find it stupid that Pascal is this upset over his crush on Marco, though. It seemed almost played for comedy relief than actual drama. And speaking of stupid comedy relief, I didn't love the Brad and Britt scenes, but I think I've made it pretty clear that I don't love the Brad character in general. He started the episode getting slapped by Britt because he was kind of happy about the fact that Jason has been shipped off because he always thinks that Jason lets Britt down. But of course, these two old pals were able to work it out by the end of the episode and try and work together to try and figure out who Jason is actually covering for. They have yet to put it together that it's Rocco, and I don't really know how they would put that together. Britt was suspecting maybe it was Danny that really shot Cullum, because Jason would do anything for Danny except not be a deadbeat dad, obviously. But that was today's episode. I did think there was enough good follow through on the main plot points. It was good to see Dante actually be a better cop for once. I hope they continue to write him that way and not as just a dumb, bumbling fool like a lot of these soaps like to write their cops.